All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the February 2026 meeting of the City of Dorville Planning Commission. The Planning Commission is a volunteer committee appointed by the Mayor and City Council. My name is Yvette Prusing. I am the chair of the commission. The commission hears applications for rezonings, text amendments, conditional use permits, variances, and makes recommendations on such items to the City Council. When it's time for public comment on an item, those in person may come up to the podium. If you're watching via Zoom, please use the raise hand function. This meeting will now come to order. Will you call the roll, please? Yes.
Prusing.
Yes.
Speed.
Yes.
Adams, yes. Swanee
Here.
and Gilmore.
Here.
Okay, and would somebody like to make a motion to adopt tonight's meeting agenda?
I move to adopt tonight's meeting agenda.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll go with Devin made the motion and Chris made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
And would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the December meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December meeting.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Michael made the motion and Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
All right. I think we're ready for our first case.
All right, thank you. Good evening, planning commissioners. This first item on the agenda, it's a 5-part variance for three properties located at 5754, 5762, and 5770 South Peachtree Road. This is for a new multifamily development submitted by Joshua Marks with Edmond Dorville Family 2. All 5 variances will be covered under one presentation. However, we will need to do separate motions for each. Okay, so Mr. Marks and his team, they're proposing to build a new mid-rise 54-unit multifamily development. This proposal includes 31 bedroom units, 16 2-bedroom units, and 8 3-bedroom units, including common areas and amenities for its residents. This project is also meant to serve as a mixed income community. The target renters will range anywhere between 43 to 65,000 in annual income. 15 units will also be set aside for a voucher program, and then 6 units will be market rate. In their cover letter, they had mentioned that rents could range between $950 and $1,700 per month. This project is located less than half a mile from the MARTA station. So speaking about parking spaces, they are required to park 1 parking space per unit. They are meeting that with 54 parking spaces with 54 units. The 5 variances are as follows on your screen. The first one is to be exempt from interparcel connectivity to the neighboring property. Variance number 2 is to allow 4 parking spaces within the first layer, and this property is zone T5. The third variance is to increase the maximum curb cut from 24 feet to 26 feet. Variance number 4 is to allow for 2 curb cuts. And then variance number 5 is to decrease the minimum frontage build out from 50% to 32%. This project is located near Dorville United Elementary School. This is phase 2, which is located within the yellow boundary. You may remember phase 1 coming before you all last year. They came before you for a density bonus. They were wanting to go above the 50 units per acre by just a little bit, and they were approved. The city has issued the LDP, their building permit, and they are under construction as of today. This will be phase 2, which is separate, but it will be all under the same master plan development. This is showing that the project straddles the Dorville-Chambly boundary line. As you can see, the parcel farthest to the left is hugging that line, which will come into play in one of the variances. Here's their site plan. The building is to the right of the screen. This site is really challenging in the fact that it slopes down about 15 feet from where the building is, all the way down to the to the angle towards the left hand side of the screen. So the developer, the design team was very strategic in where to place the building, where to place the parking spaces. And as you can see, there is also the underground detention that was needed to be thought of where to place that just in terms of topography and gravity. Here's a rendering of the building, which will mimic the phase 1 project. So getting into the variances, variance number 1, that red arrow just kind of suggests where interparcel connectivity should be. What interparcel connectivity is essentially where you can access this parcel to an adjacent parcel in a vehicle or on foot. Because this adjacent parcel is located in Chamblee, I reviewed the Chamblee code. It did state that Chamblee does require interparcel connectivity as well. However, this adjacent parcel is zoned industrial. And currently it's a auto mechanic, a body shop. I believe they do tires there as well. So doing interparcel connectivity from residential to industrial is just not very, it's not very conducive to the use. Secondly, open parking. So where you see the red triangles, that is the first layer of this lot. So they were just being very strategic on where they could place the parking. They are at that parking minimum. They don't have much room for parking spaces on the site. And so these areas are located in the first layer, which they're needing to seek a variance to allow for parking within those red triangles. The third variance is increasing the maximum driveway width from 24 feet to 26 feet. When we were speaking with the development team during the pre-app meeting, they were stressing that DeKalb Fire Marshal's office was needing a wider access for fire trucks. And so the configuration was so that the fire truck could pull in, it can pull in and pull out safely. And so hence they were just needing a wider width just due to the DeKalb Fire Marshal and their operations. The fourth variance has to do with the number of curb cuts that they're allowed. Per the code, they're only allowed 1. However, they are wanting to do 2. This site is very unique in the fact that it dead ends into the property. And so they're just wanting to take full, just utilize this so that cars can come in and come out of the site with ease. And the fifth variance request, it's I don't think we've had one of these that have come before you. Essentially, a build out means that like the building has to be so many percentage of the frontage that that the lot frontage has. So let's say if the lot frontage is 100 feet, the code says that the amount of building that has to be there would have to be at least 50 feet. But in their case, they're looking to reduce that 50% build out to 32% build out. And that is just due to site constraints, building placement, parking lot placement, and so forth. Staff are recommending approval on all except for number 3. We're recommending approval with a condition. Staff would really like to see the maximum driveway width stay at 24 feet. However, we do understand that when you have building codes and fire codes and zoning codes, there might be like a mismatch of codes. And if 26 feet is needed for the DeKalb Fire Marshal's operations, we understand that. So we wanted to make sure that if it's needed, great. But if it's not, we want it to remain at 24 feet. So the 26 would only be allowed with written confirmation from the Fire Marshal's office. The applicant is here. If y'all have any questions, thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Um,
you.
I have one question for you. The interconnected parcels, so is that a T zoning thing or commercial or?
Yeah, it's a form-based code, rule that states that there must be interparcel connectivity, within the form-based zoning districts.
Okay, the form-based being, but I mean, it doesn't include residential, right? I mean,
No, it might be, and I don't have, maybe I do, hold on.
If I remember correctly, form-based is the transact zoning, so anything we've got zone T4, T5, T3, stuff like that, whereas residential is an R zoning, so R1, R2.
Yeah, the code is, it's for all T zones, T3, T4, T5, T6. It states rear alleys, rear lanes, driveways on adjacent sites shall connect to provide interparcel access to minimize curb cuts and improve street flow. So yes, if you have a rear alley, a rear lane, or a driveway, such as a driveway like this on a commercial site, I don't think a residential driveway would apply. You would need to provide interparcel access.
I just didn't realize that was a rule.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Albert?
I do. On, again, on the interpartial, connectivity part, and I know it's on the Doraville side, but is there anything that, since it's bumping right up against Chambly, do they have to say yay or nay to say, oh, no, you don't have to do that, or yeah, you have to do that, or they don't have any say so because it's on the Doraville side?
They don't have any say so because it's on the Doraville side. If let's just say hypothetically they were required to do interparcel access, what they would have to do is just extend the driveway all the way to the property line. Like, have you ever seen maybe a fast food place where there is kind of a entrance to a field, and it just kind of dead ends?
Mhm.
That would look like this, where there's a kind of an entrance to nowhere, and that's what they would be forced to do. But yeah, Chambly wouldn't have a say just because different jurisdiction.
And then my other question is regards to the 26 feet that they're asking for, but based on then, the fire marshal saying they need 26 feet. Is there any other property in Dorville that you are aware of that they had to make that stipulation for in any other apartment complexes?
Not that I'm aware of. They did do phase one, and I think it was overlooked, if I can recall, from the fire marshal's office. And I think they had their eyes on this one. It was kind of fresh in their brain, so they caught it on this one. But I can't recall a 26-foot wide driveway needed by the fire marshal on a different project.
Okay, any other questions for Albert?
One more question. The interconnected partial does the driveway, I mean, the sidewalk in front of the building, does that count? Or, because I'm thinking between phase 2 and phase 1, are they going to be connected?
So, because there's no driveway access to the right of the property, the building is there. They don't need to provide any connectivity, just because there's no driveway leading over there.
I gotcha.
But if, let's say, there was no building towards the back of the property and there was just parking lot, then they would have to connect over.
Okay, I just wanted to better understand this.
Mm-hmm.
I just have one quick one, and this is more just so I can visualize it. If you go to the second variance about the parking spaces, so the two larger red triangles down there, how does those cuts, how does that? Oh, sorry. How does that separate from the South Peachtree Road? Are those right on top of the street, or is there? I'm just trying to visualize this from that standpoint.
Well, South Peachtree Road dead ends. How do I? It kind of dead ends in the middle of the site plan, where the picture is. It dead ends right there. The first layer, so the first layer is kind of zigzag, and I'll go over to the TV screen.
So it's basically just like railroad tracks on the backside of there, and then that's it. So it's so completely separate from the road.
Correct. Completely separate from the road. It's kind of like the front yard in a way of the property, just kind of in a weird spot, just because of the way the lot is configured.
Okay. If the applicant would, any other questions at the moment? Okay. If the applicant would like to come up and please state your name, where you're from, and you can have up to 10 minutes.
I'm Andrew Allman, I'm partners with Josh, who submitted the applicant. Yeah, I would just really appreciate you guys taking some time to hear us out here on these issues. We feel like these are relatively minor hurdles to overcome. I would say we have had actually subsequent conversations with the neighbor on the connection between us and them. It's a secondary connection for them. We actually are going to try to still provide some sort of connection. Didn't want to guarantee that because of the grades that were mentioned earlier. We weren't sure we were going to be able to achieve that, but I think we actually probably will be able to still connect. We'd still like the variance just because we're not sure just yet. And then, yeah, look at this one here. It's quite frankly, it feels more of a side yard setback issue than a front yard, but it is still a front yard, the way that Peachtree dead end. So, felt like that was relatively straightforward. But yes, a lot of this was dictated. A lot of the layout was dictated due to the fire department's access to loop and get around to the site, which is why the curb cut was at 26 feet as well, just based on turn radiuses. And so again, we'll get a letter from them stating such and not. But no, really appreciate you guys, hearing us out, and happy to field any questions you may have.
Great, thank you. Anybody have any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you so much.
I have one question.
Sure.
Were you guys able to approach the lot across the street from them and see about purchasing that lot? Yeah.
Just kind of plan south here, or which?
Yeah, across the street for the dead end street. I was just curious about that.
Yes, so that will be, yes, and it'll be landscape.
We're talking about, no, go back to that previous one lot. I don't think you that
There.
bottom triangle lot. Were you guys able to approach them and see about purchasing that lot? And they were refused.
No, I do, that will get tied in with this. You're talking about.
Well, I get, it might be two lots on between South Peachtree Street and New Peachtree Street.
Yeah, it would be
Oh, okay. Oh, because that's, you guys own that little portion. I see. But you guys weren't able to acquire the lots across the street and perhaps,
not in their entirety.
oh, okay.
So the corner that basically ends up effectively connecting phase 1 and phase 2 sites across the street to create phase 2.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Great.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this, please come up to the podium or use the raise hand function on Zoom. Okay, not seeing anybody. Anybody wishing to speak against, please come up to the podium or use the raise hand function on Zoom. Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Any further questions or discussion?
So I just want to say quickly, like, I think the applicant and the city of, and the department have done a really good job at communicating on this, and like housing diversity is a huge thing that we need in the city. And so I just really admire that y'all are prioritizing mixed income and more affordable units. So it's desperately needed, and I think the council's said as much in some of their votes previously as well. So that's all.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, would somebody like to make a motion on V 2601?
Make a motion to pass V 26-01.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Okay. Chris made the motion. Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Devin,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
Sorry about that. And me, Billy, yes.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion on V 2602?
I move to approve V 26-02.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Devin made the motion. Chris made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion on V 2603?
I'll make a motion to pass V 26-03.
Did you want to add on the staff recommended condition of the letter from the fire marshal?
Yes, we can add the staff recommendation of a letter from the fire department requiring 26 feet curb cuts.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Michael made the motion. Billy made the second. Call the
Michael?
roll, please.
Michael,
Yes.
Billy, yes. Devin,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion for V 2604?
I move to approve V 26-04.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Devin made the motion. Chris made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
And last but not least, would somebody like to make a motion on V 2605?
I'll make a motion to pass to approve V 26-05.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, Michael made the motion. Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Michael,
Yes.
Devin,
Yes.
Yes.
and Chris,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
All right. This will go in front of city council in 2 weeks for their zoning meeting. Thank you so much. All right, and on to the next item, I think.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next agenda item is submitted by the city of Dorville. This is to rescind certain CUPs in the city that are no longer in use, or maybe the zoning has changed where the use is now allowed by right. So the city's ordinance does require that certain uses obtain a CUP prior to them operating. And so as you all know, you all have seen a couple of CUPs go before you all. This case is comes about where staff periodically looks at our master list of CUPs that have been approved, and we look at our business license list of who has renewed their licenses. So this was looking at the 2025 license renewals and seeing who had not renewed their license. Maybe they moved, maybe they just didn't renew their license. Maybe another business came and took over their space. So what we did was we compiled a list, had code enforcement go out and do site visits just to make sure that, get boots on the ground and see what is actually the case. And so we have compiled a final list that either the business is no longer operating or a new business has taken over that is completely different of a different use, or the zoning has changed where the use is now allowed by right. So, oh, and just to throw it out there, the last time CUPs were rescinded was August 14th, 2023. So this list, there's 13 businesses that we would like to rescind CUPs for. Number one is a ATM was awarded a CUP back in 2010. ATMs are now allowed by right. Number two is they were called Buford Highway Pawn Shop. They are no longer operating at their location. They closed down. Number three, this use is a laundromat. The laundromats are now allowed by right under T5. Number four is it was a property that was acquired by GDOT. This was because of their top express lane project where they needed to acquire some parcels off of 285. They completely took over this parcel, and there is no longer a daycare operating there whatsoever. Number five is for a event hall. This use is allowed by right. They are under that 3,000 square feet threshold, so they're allowed to exist by right. Number six is a medical clinic. That is also allowed by right. Number seven is 404 Esports, which is a gaming center where people can come in and play games and people can watch. That use is also allowed by right. Number eight is it was a moving company. That business has completely moved and vacated the space. There's a different business there now, completely different from moving and storage. Number nine, it was Arrow Inc. They were a truck and trailer rental. Again, a different business has come in and occupied the space. Number 10, again, Diamond Sculpt Med Spa. They're no longer there. They were operating in the H Mart shopping center. Number 11 was for a place of worship where code enforcement went out there, did not see any signs of a church operating at this location. Number 12 is True Safe Haven. This was a group home. I spoke with a business owner and she confirmed that they just never opened their doors as a group home. And number 13 is Tawfiq Flawless Gems. They have left the suite altogether. There is a card collecting business at that location now. In addition to all this, we did send letters to all of these business owners, certified, and we have posted signs. We're giving them to the 18th to come forward to staff and to, if they want to challenge the CUP recension, they have until the 18th to come forward and prove that they're still using the CUP. So these are the businesses that we intend to rescind, and we are recommending approval. Thank you.
And because they're all either vacated, no active OTC, or now allowed by right, we can vote on that all at once, right?
Yes, that is correct. They are grouped in.
Because nobody's contesting it or anything like that, because that would be separated out, I think.
Yeah, it'll be a final list that'll be approved. So this would be the final list where your approval is for the final list. And this is like the final list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. Let's go ahead and open up public comment. For those in person, please come up to the podium, or if you're watching via Zoom, use the raise hand function. Okay. Anybody wishing to speak against? All right, we'll go ahead and close public comment. If nobody has any further discussion or questions, if somebody'd like to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Z-26-03.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, Billy made the motion, Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Billy, yes. Devin,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
All right.
All right, moving along pretty quickly here. I love it. Our third and final agenda item, it is a to adopt the official zoning map of the city. So last year, we had a total of about 4 rezoning cases. The last update to our zoning map was January 22nd of last year. This kind of goes in the city's archives of kind of like a timestamp of what the zoning was, for that year. So this is kind of nice because we can go back to the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s, 80s. We can go back all those years and know what the zoning was in the city. And so this is the annual update for 2026. So the 4 rezoning cases that we had was the Tilly Mill rezoning along the Tilly Mill corridor. We changed all the zoning from R1, R2, RCH to RT3 designation. The second rezoning case was rezoning all R3 properties to T4. So this was a rezoning of all of our apartment complexes to the T4 district. The third rezoning case was the long rezoning where we changed certain zoning districts to T4 along major thoroughfares. That one took about maybe 9 months to complete, but it was approved in November of last year. And then finally, the last rezoning case for last year was rezoning a property along Peachtree Boulevard from OI to T5. With that, we would like to seek approval to have an up-to-date zoning map.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, we do public comment on this one as well, right? That's what I thought. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this, please use the raise hand function on Zoom or come up to the podium. Anybody wishing to speak against? All right, if there's no further discussion, would somebody like to make a motion?
I move to approve Z-26-02.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Devin made the motion, Michael made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes,
and Billy, yes.
and not seeing any other business on the agenda, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Devin made the motion, Michael made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.